The Roman Empire is regarded by many as the greatest and most powerful empire in history. Rome was able to conquer much of the then-known world and hold it for centuries, thanks to their strong and impressive army. A big part of the reason for Rome's success on the battlefield was down to the generals that they had. Over the years, Rome had many great generals, including some of the most famous figures from ancient history. But who were the best? In this video, we will take a look at 5 of the greatest generals the Roman Empire ever had. Starting off this list, we have Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar is perhaps one of the most famous Romans that ever lived. He was a general, statesman, and of course, a dictator. During his lifetime, he did so many things that would make him a legendary figure, including conquering Gaul and defeating Pompey. One of Caesar's biggest strengths was his ability to gain support from those around him. This allowed him to raise an army and eventually take control of Rome. Caesar wasn't just a great leader. He was also a brilliant tactician. His siege of Alesia is regarded by many as one of the greatest military achievements in ancient history. He completely surrounded and defeated an entire Vercingetorix's army during the siege. This battle was important because it led to the full conquest of Gaul. As well as this, Caesar helped Rome reach the height of its power. When he took over, Rome controlled most of Europe and North Africa. Under his rule, Rome would only grow. And by the time of his death, Rome controlled much of Western Asia, Northern Africa, and all of Europe, except for Dacia and Britain. As well as being a great general, Caesar was also a great leader. He introduced many reforms and made life better for many Romans. He was responsible for creating the Julian calendar, which was used for many years after the fall of Rome. He also built many public works, including roads, aqueducts, and buildings. It's safe to say Julius Caesar is one of the greatest generals Rome ever had. Not only did he expand the empire like no other before him, but he also played a huge role in shaping Rome. Next up, we have Publius Cornelius Scipio Africanus. Scipio Africanus was a Roman general and the son of Publius Cornelius Scipio Barbatus. During his life, he achieved many victories against Hannibal, Barca, and Carthage. Helping Rome win the Second Punic War, he was responsible for defeating Hannibal at the Battle of Zama, which led to Carthage losing the war. This battle is often seen as one of the most important battles in ancient history, as Rome's victory led to the decline of Carthage and the rise of Rome. Scipio Africanus was a brilliant strategist and tactician, but he was also a great leader. He was able to inspire his troops to fight bravely, and was always willing to take risks when necessary. He was also very diplomatic, and was able to make allies with other nations when needed. This was especially true during the siege of Carthage. While he was there, Scipio Africanus negotiated a peace treaty with King Cephalus of Numidia. This treaty gave Rome control of the western Mediterranean, but it also allowed Scipio to receive supplies from Numidia while he was besieging Carthage. After the Second Punic War, Scipio Africanus went on to have a long and distinguished career in Roman politics. He served as consul in 194 BC and 183 BC and was censor in 180 BC. He died in 129 BC at the age of 63 or 64. He is buried next to his father in the family tomb at Liternum. Scipio Africanus was a brilliant general and one of the most important figures in the history of the Roman Republic. He was a master of both strategy and tactics, and his victories over Hannibal, Barca, and Carthage helped to secure Rome's dominance in the western Mediterranean. He was also a great leader and statesman, and his contributions to the Roman Republic were immense. Moving on, we have Gaius Marius. Gaius Marius was a Roman general and politician. Who lived from 157 BC to 86 BC, he was one of the most successful generals in Roman history and is considered to be one of the founders of the Roman Empire. Marius was born in the Italian city of Arpi in 157 BC. He came from a wealthy family and was able to use his wealth to further his political career. He began his career as a military tribune and served in several campaigns in the late 2nd century BC. In 133 BC, he was elected consul and given command of the Roman army in the Third Macedonian War. Marius was victorious in the war and returned to Rome as a hero. In the following years, he campaigned against the Cimbri and Teutones, two Germanic tribes that were threatening Italy. Marius was again victorious and was celebrated with a triumph. In 107 BC, Marius was given command of the Roman army in the Social War, a conflict between Rome and its Italian allies. The allies were demanding Roman citizenship and representation in the government. Marius was successful in putting down the revolt and preserving the Roman Republic. In 88 BC, Marius was given command of the war against Mithridates VI of Pontus. Marius was initially successful, but was defeated and killed in battle in 86 BC. Marius was a brilliant general and one of the most successful in Roman history. He was a master of logistics and was able to keep his armies supplied and equipped even when they were far from home. He was also a skilled tactician and was able to defeat much larger armies. Marius was also a great leader and was able to inspire his troops to fight bravely and with discipline. He was also very popular with the Roman people and was considered to be a champion of the common man. Marius was one of the most important figures in the history of the Roman Republic. He helped to preserve the Republic during the Social War, and he began the process of extending Roman citizenship to the Italians. He also began the process of turning the Roman army into a professional force. Next up, we have Marcus Vipsanius Agrippa. Marcus Vipsanius Agrippa was a Roman general and statesman who lived from 63 BC to 12 AD. He was one of the most important figures in the reign of Augustus and is considered to be one of the founders of the Roman Empire. Agrippa was born in 63 BC in the city of Forum Iuli in the province of Cisalpine Gaul. He came from a middle-class family and was able to use his intelligence and ambition to advance himself. In the early days of Augustus's reign, Agrippa was a member of the opposition and even fought against Augustus in the civil war that followed the death of Julius Caesar. However, after Augustus became emperor, he and Agrippa reconciled, and Agrippa became one of Augustus's closest advisors. Agrippa's first major task was to reform the Roman army. He reorganized the legions and created a more efficient system of training and supply. He also developed new weapons and equipment for the soldiers, and he introduced the eagle as the emblem of the legions. Agrippa was also responsible for building many of the great monuments of Rome, including the Pantheon, the first version of the Roman Forum, and the aqueduct that brought fresh water into the city. Agrippa was a brilliant general, and he played a key role in securing Augustus' victory in the Civil War. He also defeated the armies of Sextus Pompeius, a son of the great general Pompey the Great, and ended the piracy crisis in the Mediterranean. Agrippa was one of the most important figures in the reign of Augustus, and he played a key role in the establishment of the Roman Empire. He was a brilliant general and statesman, and his contributions to Rome were immense. Finally, we have Flavius Belisarius. Flavius Belisarius was a Roman general and one of the most successful generals in the history of the Byzantine Empire. He was born in 500 AD in the city of Constantinople and came from a humble background. Despite his humble beginnings, Belisarius rose to become one of the most important figures in the reign of Emperor Justinian I, and is considered to be one of the founders of the Byzantine military. Early in his career, Belisarius served in the Eastern Roman army and distinguished himself in campaigns against the Persians and the Goths. In 533, he was given command of the imperial army and tasked with reconquering the Vandal kingdom in North Africa. Belisarius was successful in his campaign and returned to Constantinople with a large booty. He was also successful in campaigns against the Ostrogoths in Italy and the Franks in Gaul. Belisarius was a brilliant general and one of the most successful in the history of the Byzantine Empire. He was a master of logistics and was able to keep his armies supplied and equipped even when they were far from home. He was also a skilled tactician and was able to defeat much larger armies. Belisarius was also a great leader and was able to inspire his troops to fight bravely and with discipline. He was also very popular with the people and was considered to be a hero. Belisarius died in 565 AD at the age of 65. He was buried in a church in Constantinople, but his remains were lost when the city was sacked in 1204. Despite his humble beginnings, Belisarius rose to become one of the most important figures in the history of the Byzantine Empire. He was a brilliant general and statesman, and his contributions to the empire were immense. If you want to watch another video just like this one, then like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.